Now, for next part of our program, some of you may have heard that there was a workshop, a week-long workshop that happened last month, Divine Principle Workshop for our high schoolers. And yeah, you may have heard about it, have kids that have gone, or maybe this is your first time hearing about it. But regardless, we want to share about how that was, and I'd like you guys to help me welcoming up our camp directors, Katya and Tosh. Yes. Woo!
All right, good morning, everybody. Good. It's nice to see you all. We had a wonderful week over in Westport, Washington at the Wolfenberger's house. Yeah. We just want to tell you a little bit about the project, what happened. Oh no, it got messed up. It's not 20, it's 2026. So we had an incredible experience, and we just want to talk a little bit about why we did what we did and what happened, so you guys can feel like you are also in the loop. Let's see. Does it work? It works. Sweet. So this workshop, it really came from a desire in both of us. We were kind of struggling. I'm sure most of us have kind of been struggling about what are we supposed to teach everybody, really, at this time. Shrimother's been saying certain things, and it's hard to know exactly what it means at times, and so it can be really challenging. And so we were kind of lost. Like, what do we teach our youth? We were thinking about that little quadrant in the back, 3/4 of the room on this side. And we were thinking a lot about like how we can teach them to become, better, stronger, more loving people, more God-centered people. And we were stumped. We were really stumped because we didn't know. We were hearing a lot of different things. But actually we found as we were traveling, we talked to lots of aunts and uncles and people, family members, even the youth themselves. And we found some people that had the same questions, like Aunt Christine Froelich, if you know her. She's a wonderful lady from the Bay Area, and she's been dedicating almost 40 years of her life to education for the youth. So we were talking with her, and she's been helping out with our youth ministry. But really, it kind of came as inspiration between the two of us to hold some kind of workshop where our youth can learn divine principle in a rigorous way. So we decided to make a workshop that had a couple lectures and lecture practice. And Katya's going to talk a little bit about that. Oh, one thing to note, all of these photos are from the workshop. Not a single one is stock. Not a single one is from something before that or after. These are all taken by Jonas Chustion, who's living with the Wolfenbergers and kind of taking over their business. Incredible photographer, also incredible brother. You guys should talk to him and meet him and learn about him. Yes.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about the workshop itself, just to give a little bit of backstory. So we had the original inspiration to do this workshop in December last year. And we were thinking that we heard from some of our youth ministry participants that they had a lot of questions about the principle that they had unanswered, and they just, this is what I heard from some people, that they just didn't feel like there was the space to ask those questions. So we were thinking maybe we should do something like this. But then we thought about it, and after a month or two of having a hard time finding a workshop site and realizing we were insanely busy, we were maybe next year. And then we found out our kids could not go to One Heart because of scheduling. And then there was a lot of little things that lined up where we were like, dang, it really feels like God is asking us to do this. So we felt very guided to have this workshop, and it felt very clear that God was supporting us in that. First of all, because the Wolfenbergers kindly offered for us to have our workshop at their home. This was no questions from them. Basically, as soon as we asked, they were saying, absolutely, we can do that. And also a really big thing that I'm extremely grateful for is our amazing staff. We had such a good support staff. Can people who are team leaders or staff raise their hand for this workshop? Let's give them a round of applause. So we had a really, really amazing support staff. Everyone was so invested and just willing to help. And I think that was one of the main reasons that it was such a wonderful experience. And I felt very clearly, Tosh and I were talking about this, because this was our first time doing something of this scale and this length. We've never done anything like this before, so it was very much like a test run, and it was very clear that it was like us doing 5% of the work and God doing 95 or more, basically everything, and we were just trying to figure it out at the last moment. But basically, how the workshop worked was there were 3 full days of divine principle education. The morning portions of the workshop were lectures given by Anne Christine, which she'd spent months preparing, and that was a lot of content. For many of our participants, it was the first time hearing that content, which is crazy, but it seemed like everyone was learning a lot from it. And to solidify what they learned from the lectures, we actually gave them basically the entire afternoon to practice giving and learning lecturing. So they would get into small groups of 3, and they would take turns lecturing every day. And we were a little worried because it was at least 2 hours of lecture practice every day for high schoolers and young adults. So you'd think that it's like, do they have the attention span to do that? But actually, we found that it was not enough time at the end. Like, they wanted more time. And everyone's lecture, we were extremely impressed by the quality of the lectures that we heard. And what was really interesting was, I think this is something that I experienced on GPA, but it's very easy to be distracted by wanting to make lectures like interesting or funny or like be charismatic, but I feel like there was a very strong emphasis from our participants to, not that they weren't charismatic or interesting or funny, they were, but it was the content was the center of the lectures. So you could tell that people were really prioritizing trying to understand what they were teaching. And it was really fun to see people coming up, like so many times people would come up to Tosh and I or to Natasha or Aunt Christine and be asking questions and, challenging what they heard. It wasn't just, I'm going to receive this, I'm going to digest it and spit it back out in the form of a lecture. It was a space for conversation, a space to ask questions. And I was really inspired by that. And we had a mix of fun activities. These were some of our relay races organized by Paige and Mikey, our activities team. We had a lot of fun. Shout out Paige and Mikey. And we had some internal activities and backpacking prep, which Tosh can talk about the backpacking more later. But at the end of our DP lecture or DP workshop portion of this camp, we had a lecture competition. So everyone in their teams, I don't want to get into the details, but basically we had 5 finalists share with the entire workshop their lectures. And actually 2 people from our Seattle Youth Ministry were finalists. So Nika and Phoenix were finalists in the... Yeah, so just to kind of touch on what these photos are looking at, bottom right is one of our teams, and then the top right is Anne Christine giving one of her lectures, and then the left 2 I think are pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, a lot of wonderful people, and another thing that was really cool about this workshop is we had a lot of NGM participants come, which was really awesome. So originally we had about 6 high schoolers who were planning to come, and then 10 team leaders. We were like, oh no, what do we do? And then actually it kind of worked out that we had the opportunity for NGM to come, and we ended up having 20 NGM participants join us. Not just as team leaders, it was a mix of team leading and staff. We kind of had a hybrid experience for them. But it was really nice because it created a more mature atmosphere, and I think it really helped create a better tone for receiving the content and just making the most out of the time. So at the end, I think that was really, really a great experience. And then Tosh can touch on the second.
Yeah, so we did Divine Principle. I had a slide a bit ago that you can experience God's love in so many ways. One of the ways is through the truth. When you hear the truth, you feel God's love. Sometimes it hurts a little bit, but sometimes you feel great. And then also you can feel that through other people. But one way that I especially connect to God's love is through his creation. So we spent 2 nights going into the wild. Yeah, that was exactly how it looked. It was incredible. So we did 2 nights of backpacking in Olympic National Park. If you have not gone, please, for the love of God, go. It's incredible. It's amazing. We split off into some teams. We saw incredible sights. We saw waterfalls. We saw mountains and streams and lakes and people. No elk. No elk. A wild chicken. Yeah, a wild chicken. There's one group saw a bear. You know, there's plenty of chipmunk. Yeah, big shout out to the chipmunks. Yeah, it was incredible. So yeah, you gotta go, please. But it was really incredible because on the foundation of our workshop and learning divine principle, we could go out into nature and see the principle working. We could also feel God's love so much more when our eyes are opened, spiritual eyes are open to his love. And yes, there were technical things that we were doing. We were making our own food. We were carrying everything on our backs, 20, 30, maybe even 40 pounds, depending on the person, of stuff on their backs. And we hiked roughly 20 miles for each group in 3 days. It's a lot of calories burned, I'll say that. Yeah, and I really appreciate all of the participants who were there. They took it and they felt so grateful and they were so happy. At one point, we were walking on a ridge at roughly 6,000 feet elevation, which is high, you know, it's pretty high. Yeah, it's roughly, you know, it's pretty good. But it was July 15th. If you remember July 15th, it was the only thunderstorm that happened to pass through this area in all of July. Isn't that incredible? And so we were walking along this ridge on that day. So by the grace of God, we survived. But also, I thought that they were all having a miserable experience. So I turned towards Nika and then another sister from the UK, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And they both go, "This is amazing! I'm loving it!" And they really fell in love with creation. It seemed like everybody did. So here's some sights. All of our brothers and sisters. It was breathtaking. That bottom right photo was right after that torrential rain. That stream that people are walking in is actually the trail. But instead of being a flat, dry trail, it was under 2 inches of water. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Lastly, we'd like to just give a shout out to some people. Uncle David and Aunt Mitsue, they hosted us for those 3 or 4 days that we were there at their house. They're incredible. They supported us the whole time. Cooked for us, cleaned for us, took care of us. Aunt Christine, she taught the principle in a way that's so relatable. I don't know, I felt so like she could strike a chord in my heart when she speaks. Also, Aunt Natasha and Mikey and Paige and Sami. The entire core staff, they're amazing. I'm really grateful for this community. I feel like we have so many wonderful people. Also, I didn't put a photo of you guys, but Pastor Amy and Augustine, you guys were there for basically half the workshop. And supported us the whole time. Also, the Lebroys were there for a little bit, and they helped us. In general, it was an amazing experience, and we really hope that we can make this a tradition for the Washington community. Thank you all for all of your prayers and support. Yeah. So, actually, if you want to learn a little bit more, we've got a couple people that want to share their experience. All right, everybody, welcome up Suali.
Okay, hi everyone. It's good to be back. I'm going to share a little bit about my experience. So I came as part of NGM, so it's kind of like two worlds colliding. It's like the people I spent most of my year with and then the people I grew up with, like in one spot. So it was a really cool experience, really grateful I was able to attend and support. I think for me, the most impactful part were the DP lecture practices. I feel like I was able to learn probably the most I've learned about the DP, like ever in my whole life, like in that 3-day period. Just learning, digesting the material, and also teaching others the way I interpret the DP, not just copy and paste what I was given. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was super fun. It was like all my best friends in one spot. And backpacking was really nice too. I was like part of a small group, but I was able to hike with another group, which made it like really big. So it's like really fun, just like hanging out with my friends and talking with them and experiencing nature and the rain. So yeah, it was really fun. I'm really grateful for everyone who made it possible. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sua. So we have one more testimony prepared. So this is from one of our high schoolers. Please help me welcome up Benji of Ravenka.
Okay, I'm not really used to being up here talking to more than like 4 people, so I have a couple notes, if that's okay. Okay, so Camp Summit, yeah. So yeah, this workshop was really impactful for a lot of people. Like everybody I asked, all of them had they had really good thoughts about the camp overall and the organizers. So I think one of the most important parts I had was I set goals. This was like one of the only camps I've actually like set a real goal that I actually had in mind. Because before this, I had a few questions about faith. Like I wasn't like doubting my faith, but I was kind of challenging it, you know. Because I mean, if you don't challenge your faith, you're not really knowledgeable. You're just a blind follower. That's what True Father said. That's what my mom said about True Father. But yeah, NGM, it was nice having a lot of friends there. That's one part, but the biggest part was that they had a lot of insight. Because they had just come back from like a year of NGM, so they had a lot of knowledge, and they gave me a lot of insight. After every talk, Aunt Christine was talking, and we would meet up with our teams for about like 20, 30 minutes, and we would talk about how she would talk about how, like, what about the talk, and we would comprehend it, and we would break it down. And that was super helpful for me, personally. And also they were just older, so they knew more. Especially, I want to give a shout out, I don't know if he's here, but King, he helped me and Phoenix a lot. We were asking him a lot of questions, and he had all the answers. I don't know how he did it, but yeah. And then all the other brothers and sisters, they were all into volleyball, so I kind of started getting into that too. I practiced a lot during free time, and a few of the brothers, they were playing guitar, so I got into that after. When I got home, I just started ripping the guitar, you know. And then, yeah, so this was like by far the most I've ever learned from a single DP workshop. This was like super insightful for me. It answered a lot of questions I had before this, and everything just kind of lined up really well for me to learn a lot and take a lot away. Yeah, I just had like really a lot of new connections. I know a lot more people now. At the beginning, I knew nobody's name, and then I did a little exercise with Matthew. They were all playing volleyball, and I would like call out the name of like whoever's hitting the ball, and I learned a lot of people's name from that. And then, yeah, we had near the end of the workshop segment of the workshop, we had three 7-minute prayers, and they were all about different topics, and each one I had a really good connection with God. I asked a lot. I actually got answers. I've never really like asked something in a prayer and like got it back. Like I was like, oh, that's what I had for my prayer. And so there was like a big connection there. I've kept that too. It's like sometimes I'll have a connection with God, and then the next week I'll be like, oh, okay, and, it was a workshop. It was a cool workshop, But this time I'm actually like taking something away, and there's a lasting effect of this workshop, and lecture practice was also a really big thing. I think I had the topic was God's characteristics, learning how to identify those and learning about Him. and I studied the topic, and I really comprehended it. I didn't make it to the top, but that didn't really matter because at the end of the day, when I was giving my service to the 2 other people within my team, I wasn't just reading off a book and then like reading off a script. You know, I actually comprehended the info, and I was talking about it like I knew what I was talking about because I was. And then the backpacking part was super fun. The last day, I forgot to pack enough socks, so I had to hike barefoot in my flip-flops, but it was still really cool. I talked a lot with people. It was nice to just like walk and talk with people. I was able to talk with multiple people, just like comprehending the workshop, because the backpacking section was afterward. So it was really nice to just comprehend with other people, kind of like what we did after talks. It was really nice, and that's kind of where I learned a lot of people did really like the workshop. And I think part of it was also just because of the structuring of the workshop, of how Christine structured her talks, which was super valuable. I really want to thank her about that. And also all the core staff, especially Tosh. I heard that not during the work, but before the workshop, while I was playing for it, someone told me that Tosh was, he was struggling with studying for finals and taking finals while also attending every meeting. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. So that's a lot of effort, and it really paid off. I think a lot of people. I don't think anybody had much negative thoughts about, or like any negative thoughts about the workshop. I mean, this was a really, really good workshop. Everybody loved the workshop, and really want to thank you and all the core staff and Christine, and also Uncle Wolfenberger for giving his house and letting us use it. Everybody invested a lot, and people got a lot from that investment. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, let's do this next year, shall we? All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have seen what they've done here, Tosh and Katya. Please give them a huge round of applause. Yeah, they are incredible, so shower them with as much love as you have in your heart. I've seen them work throughout the whole year, and we might not see them here at Sunday service, but this is the result of what they've been doing every single week, for the entire year, for the youth ministry, and we're really grateful for you guys. I just wanted to share that, and I was really moved by everything that you've done, and the heart that you have for these kids, the youth ministry. And despite their very busy schedule, I mean, Tosh is in med school, Katya, or he's getting into, he's not there yet, so it must be tough. And then Katya is working full-time, but they're still really investing into our youth ministry and into the lives of these young kids. And, Tosh began by saying that in the beginning they were asking all these questions. What can we give to these young people, these young children, second, third generation? And they put a lot of effort, and we can see that. So, yeah, I'm really moved, even very emotional. So I'm grateful for you guys. We're planning a dinner date. We want to appreciate them, so we encourage you guys to also appreciate them too. Yeah, thank you guys.